Hi, and welcome to the Drama Club. On this week's episode, we talk Alexa Demie, Demi Lovato, Kyle Richards, and Teddi Mellencamp, and then Stef's got the story of Bob Marley. Everything gonna be Irie. Stay tuned, man.
What up, fam? It's good, y'all. Feels good, right? Yeah, I know it do. And without further ado, we broadcasting live from CA to NY.
Have you seen this thing about Alexa Demie?
No,
Or Demie, is that how you pronounce her name?
Yeah, that everybody's shocked that she knows people.
No. They're shocked because
She's 25.
This is the bitch from Euphoria.
Yeah, and mid-90s.
Oh, she was in. I still haven't seen mid-90s.
Oh, it's all right. It's cool because it's one of those movies.
Yeah, but
But you've seen that movie before.
That's what I was gonna say. What's the one with Zoe Kravitz? That's was kind of like hip hop-y 90s.
I don't
Do you
remember.
remember? Oh, that one was good, but I imagine it's the same thing, but not as good as that one. Anyway.
It's like a PG Kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which is exactly like the movie I'm thinking of. Man, I wish I remembered the name of this fucking movie. Anyway, so she has been claiming to be like 24 or 25 or something, but turns out she's like 29. So
Oh, I didn't know that was the drama. I just thought everybody was like, God, they thought she was like 18 and it turns out she's 25. I didn't know what was going on.
because she was profiled in one of the magazines, I want to say like Vanity Fair, when Euphoria was on, and they're like, 24-year-old Alexa, whatever. And then so somebody unearthed, and by the way, she went to Marshall High School, which is my...
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, anyway, so somebody unearthed her yearbook or some shit. This bitch graduated in 2008.
Uh-oh. Damn.
So
she looks young as fuck.
She looks so young. So then people started to unearth pictures of her with Nicki Minaj 10 years ago and shit.
Kim Kardashian with her first ass and shit. Yeah. That's wild. That was funny. I saw that going viral and I was like, why is everybody mad?
The meme is so funny. It'll be Alexa to me leaving the Last Supper and shit.
Yeah.
I didn't realize people were still lying about their age. You see that joke on I Love Lucy and shit, and I just didn't realize people were still doing that.
Yeah, especially in this day and age. I don't know, but women still have a problem with their age, especially in my line of work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, often they talk about it and they're always upset about birthdays, and I'm like, dude, I don't want to be like that. I don't know. Every year's a blessing, man. You should just be happy that we're on this earth for this long.
Oh, seriously.
Anyways, Demi Lovato broke up with her man after 2 months of being engaged. 2 long months.
Damn, you got engaged and broke up in quarantine?
Yeah, that shit's crazy,
Damn,
dude.
you're doing the most.
I know. Do you think she has to give that fool a ring back?
I think that once it's given to you, it's yours, and you get to decide what you want to do with it.
But I think it would be manners,
Yes.
You should give it back, right?
Right. That's how I feel.
Okay. All right. That's what I thought too. Yeah, Hillel has been looking at Cartier watches, and I told him to relax. I started getting mad, and I was like, you know what? You need to fucking relax. We got other things we need to spend money on right now.
Yeah.
Not your stupid ass little watches. And I was kind of mad about it. And then he was like, you know what? I spent a lot of money on your engagement ring. And he was like, this entitles me to a Cartier a low-level Cartier watch. And I was like, okay, tell me how much money you spent on my engagement ring. And he was like, no, I can't. You're not supposed to. And I was like, well, then we'll never know how much money you get for your fucking Cartier watch then.
I know how much you spent.
I know, and I told her, I was like, I'm gonna ask May because she has to know. And he was like, she won't tell you.
Well, clearly doesn't know where my allegiances lie.
I know. Shut the fuck up, man. Oh, speaking of rings, did you see Kyle Richards?
What about her?
So she...
Oh, God damn it, yes!
Yeah, so Kyle Richards from 90 Day Fiancé. Mauricio.
It's one of our shows.
Yeah, one of the shows we watch. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She, if you guys remember, like maybe like 2 seasons back, had just bought a brand new house and then immediately got robbed.
Yeah. It was
like,
bad. Like
all her shit.
Like
it
$1
was,
million worth of shit.
Oh yeah, like it was fucked up.
And remember Lisa Vanderpump got her a new Chanel. Yeah. That was so sweet.
Like the first time they went to lunch, that's cool. Like I mean, that's what you do, right? Yeah. But damn, yeah, like a little Chanel, that's just sick. See, in those situations, I think like how funny, because she was like, all my shit was stolen. And yeah, I think that fucking sucks, especially when you buy like these expensive designer things that you intend on holding on to. But I remember her being like, but what really hurts is like I had stuff from my mom.
Yes.
And so then you remember what fucking matters in this world. Like,
no, for real. And also, I mean, it's not my shit, so take this with a grain of salt, but I was like, you know what really hurts though, like not to lose your shit, but like you just moved into this place and now you feel unsafe.
Oh, you'll never feel, I mean, there's no fucking way I would never move in there. Yeah. Anyways, so she had this massive robbery happen. So then I guess like a few weeks ago,
Diane Keaton.
Diane Keaton, of all people. Why don't you tell the story, man? It's my fucking...
Okay, so Diane Keaton posted a picture of her psychic, like of her psychic's hands. And
No, it was a random psychic on Santa Monica Boulevard.
Okay, of some rando psychic's hands. And on the hands, Kyle Richards spots her ring that was stolen.
At that like house robbery. Isn't that fucking crazy?
That's insane.
So I was just reading the story because I also I thought it was... First, I thought it was that one psychic bitch that had even appeared.
That bitch
on
was
Real
like,
Housewives.
Your husband will never make you happy or some shit.
Yeah, she had like a show for a second or something. I thought it was that bitch, but then I was wrong. And then it was like Kyle said that she had hired, because they reached out to Diane Keaton, I guess works with Mauricio at the agency.
What?
Or like Mauricio works for her.
Oh, okay.
My bad. That's what I mean. And so like Mauricio reached out to her to try to locate like who the psychic was. They couldn't locate her. They even fucking like hired a private investigator. And Kyle was like, I'm not saying that this woman had anything to do with the robbery. I just want to know maybe like what pawn shop she bought it from.
And that's obviously... I mean, you think a psychic broke into your house or whatever the fuck?
No. Think she had a fucking premonition that you're going to be gone that day? Nah.
It's called the Bling ring, not the Bling crystal ball. Am I right?
Stupid.
So where's the story at? They're still looking for that bitch?
Yeah, so like I guess they couldn't find her.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened.
What are the odds of that? That's fucking
so
crazy.
Fucking wild. What a small ass world, right?
Wow.
Imagine you're Kyle and you're just browsing Instagram.
Yeah, for real. Clapping back at some people responding at some shit, and then you're like, hold up, wait a minute. Was it like one of the for real, like the ones that her mom gave her?
I don't know.
She didn't talk about it?
Yeah, she didn't specify what ring it was or anything like that. Yeah.
Shout out to Diane Keaton.
I know. What a random fucking thing. I don't like Diane Keaton because she macked on Keanu in that movie Something's Gotta Give. So ever since then, I've been like, fuck Diane Keaton.
That movie's kind of cute.
It's all right. It could be better. It's corny.
Shout out to Frances McDormand for like being fourth billed in that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder why she did that. She must be homies.
Playing against type. Yeah.
With somebody, right?
And I mean, like, an easy paycheck.
Yeah, for sure. Good for her.
Did you guys need a second home? Go ahead.
I know.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I mean.
Good for her.
So speaking of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, a big scandal this week happened with Teddi Mellencamp. Teddi Jo Mellencamp, daughter of John Mellencamp.
Her middle name's Joe, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Teddi Jo, Bobby Jo, Billy Jo.
What a bitch. Yeah, so...
Like, I hate to admit it, but she's kind of pretty.
Oh, Teddi? Yeah, no, she is pretty.
She got, like, a cute little nose.
Yeah, she's pleasant looking.
I just hate that bitch.
She's fine. She's just whatever.
She's just too self-conscious, too, like... I don't
She
know.
is too self-conscious. I do want to. I feel bad for her this season because she was knocked up, and so like I know that had to do with like all the crying and shit.
Yeah.
But I'm not about a crying ass bitch. I'm sorry.
She actually cried less this season than in previous seasons. So
That's what annoys me about Kyle too. She's always fucking crying.
Because
and
that's
shit.
how she's gonna get out of something. You know, Kyle, like
Yeah.
the pressure's getting too hot, and like Kyle's just gonna start fucking crying.
Yeah, like you've never had a real ass problem,
Right.
Like this is why you're fucking crying over some stupid ass shit. Your house got robbed. Cry over that.
And your man's got low key robbed too. Like I don't know, somebody's robbing him every Tuesday and Thursday between the hours of 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. when you're at yoga or some shit.
She might be all right with that. She probably is.
Anyway, so Teddi Jo Mellencamp has she's like a low key like a life coach type thing. She doesn't use that phrase, but that's what the fuck it is.
What is her program called?
All in by
All
Teddi.
In.
So what they do, the way it's represented on the show is she's a quote unquote accountability coach. So
That's right.
if you want to achieve certain goals in your life, mostly revolving around fitness
And weight loss.
Yeah. She and her team will quote unquote keep you accountable by like making you like text them what you're eating that day.
Like they ask for pictures and shit even. Like they're really on top of it. For
Right.
someone that wants that, you know?
Right. So it turns out people have been doing some digging into this, and it's like a really fucked up program with like not really scientifically based, nutritionally based. No one at All In has a science or nutrition background. They're having these women, mostly women, subsist on like anywhere from 500 calories a day to 1,000 calories a day, which is extremely
That's crazy.
terrible. Also, keep in mind that these people are also working out like fucking crazy every single day.
Yeah, I think like the lowest calories you can eat is like 1,400, and that's like crazy. And that's like not counting like if you work out, you need to eat more than that.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just like a very unhealthy, and Teddi has been kind of open about having disordered eating because she used to be heavy, I guess, at some point.
Heavier. Yeah.
Anyway, so people are like, damn, like you should know that this isn't cool what you're doing to these people.
Right. It's like the very first thing anytime anybody who's ever Googled a diet, the very first thing is like, please consult your doctor.
Right,
And
right.
None of these people involved are doctors.
Oh, God. Or
And
even
they're-
nutritionists or anything. Nothing.
And you're paying like a shit ton.
Yeah. And, okay, so then there was like an expose done over at The Cut. Shout out to The Cut. You know when
Oh, I
there's an
love The
expose
Cut.
at The Cut?
Yeah.
Anyway, there was like an expose happening over at The Cut, and like dozens of people. First of all, to join, you have to sign an NDA. So, I mean.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
So there were people anonymously saying what it was like over at The Cut, and they were saying that some of the women were, you were asked to, when you applied to get in, like they asked for photos, and they rejected some women because of how they looked, like before they even started, you know? They're like, oh, you don't have that all in look.
What the fuck does that mean?
They only want a certain clientele, I'm guessing rich, white, pretty, basic.
Oh.
So there was that.
Pumpkin spice lattes.
Exactly. Blue macaws.
Beige cardigans. Fabulous.
So there was that. And then, then they started digging into how healthy, or should I say unhealthy, this whole program is. And then they discovered that it's also like a pyramid scheme.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's an MLM because the ultimate goal is for you to become an accountability coach within the All-In system.
Damn.
So this
Teddi Mellencamp out here scamming.
Sometimes it's the one you least expect.
I know. Low-key respect it. Might like her a little bit more now.
So all of this is sort of happening in the background of the last month or so. And, she took to Twitter and to her Instagram talking, like defending her system. Like, I've changed the lives of X amount of people, and I have so many satisfied clients that'll tell you that the All-In system works for them, blah, 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 blah. But then it turned out that her husband, Edwin, decided that he was trying to dox like some of the people that were working at the expose over at the Cut and at other publications. So he tried to get his employees to publicize these women. They're mostly women that were reporting on this, their personal phone numbers, and start like harassing these reporters.
Damn, he's hella ride or die.
He is, huh?
Yeah.
So then someone outed him for doing that, and the word on the street is that's the straw that broke the camel's back at Bravo, that they were like, oh, you know what? We can't have them on the show. And then her contract wasn't renewed. She was fired.
Yeah, there were these rumors already that Teddi was going to be let go. She's not like great.
She's not good TV.
No, there's no like, I don't know. I don't want to be fucked up completely, but like, I feel like there's no redeeming quality about her. Because everybody has something, right? Like, I don't know.
Like my girl, Erica Jane. I feel like doesn't have a whole lot of storyline. Like,
no, and she like is really good at steering clear of the drama.
Yes, which like, I mean, what are you doing? Like, that's not the point of being on this show. But her little interviews, her clapbacks and stuff after the fact are always really great. Yeah,
she's smart, witty. She has her great personality.
And she's got an amazing closet.
Yeah, that's something with Dorit too, where it's like I'll watch that bitch just to see what she's got to put on. Yeah. Kyle has like the Hilton connection and all sorts of drama there, and that's amazing. Plus, Kyle's just been there a long time now, so like she has all these connections with
she's
like
the glue.
Little side people. Yeah. Ooh, Kyle's sad as fuck about Teddi not making it back.
I know. They're gonna get her the fuck out of there. Watch. I think they're gonna gang up on her this next season.
Oh yeah, she's not gonna make it. She's gonna be like, I'm done. Plus, Mauricio's making fucking bank now, and so she doesn't really need it. Did you see that Chef Deloder and Monica were talking about us watching Sister Wives?
Yes.
Yeah. I want to like
Niner.
D-Lo Niner. Yeah. I want to like I've always like been interested in that show just because I like the idea of that show. Seems like it has a lot of drama that could come with it, but I've never started it. And how many seasons deep is that shit now?
Yeah, super deep. I will say this is not a show that I like super watch, but I know what the fuck is going on. And the reason that I can't really get into it is because that man disgusts me so much, Cody.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the husband on
that's
that show.
the husband?
Yeah. I hate him so much.
It's always been him?
It's always been him, yeah. He's so disgusting to me that I'm just like, ugh, what are these women doing with him and shit?
It's hard to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. That shit's wild, dude.
I know. You think you can be in a plural marriage?
No, bitch. Are you kidding me? No. I just told you last week that I couldn't. That's like my most stressful thing about being gay is that I wouldn't want my ex to date a friend. I was laughing when I reheard that. I was like, man, I hope nobody gets mad at me.
I think I could be in a plural marriage. I mean, it depends. Like, definitely not like in the beginning when you're all like super in love with your partner. But
you have to like come into it like that. Like you have to know that that's gonna be the arrangement from the get go.
Right.
And then like, see, like I don't know. Like I mean, then like if you're even comfortable with that and try it out and it works out, that's cool.
Yeah.
I just know myself that I wouldn't even. Right. I would be like, no, I can't. I'm not even trying this out. I'm sorry. This is like Bewitched at Nick at Night. I'm not even gonna give you a fucking shot. I'm changing the channel ASAP.
I for sure can't have two husbands because like, oh God.
Oh, who the fuck wants that?
Nobody got time for two men.
It's like one or less. Yes. No, for sure. Yeah. Like, I feel you.
I can't remember. There was like some rumor going around about Rihanna at some point. This was like years ago, like that she was somebody's side piece or something, and then somebody responded like, damn, Rihanna don't even want her own man.
Yeah. Fuck. Is she still with that guy, that billionaire guy?
No, they broke up.
They did? Yeah. I always remember those pictures of them like fighting all crazy and then macking all crazy. I'm like, oh, fuck. That's intense.
That's why the line is called Savage.
Yep.
Savage X Fenty.
Oh. Did you see that going viral on like Twitter because they came out with like men's briefs and stuff?
Yeah.
So all these guys were saying they were gonna become savage ambassadors or whatever, and people started dragging them like they're gonna have doo-doo stains on their fucking boxers.
That's true.
Yeah.
What's up with you, man? Why can't you wipe your ass?
I don't know. That's so weird. Or like just change your underwear, like
For real.
right? Like
Yeah.
you were wearing that shit? That's disgusting. What's wrong with you?
You know what I think it is? It's like they don't want to. They also just don't want to go the extra mile to have like some baby wipes or
Yeah.
or
They
even
can't
a
take
bidet.
like one extra step.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, let me tell you about the Emmys,
Oh yeah.
which I recorded, and then because it got good reviews. So like a day or two later, I was like, okay, I gotta watch the Emmys because they got really great reviews. It was fucking weird to me.
Yeah. I mean, it seemed weird from the get-go. I wasn't really. First of all, I fucking didn't even realize it was the Emmys. I was like, oh shit, it's the Emmys today? And then it was like not easy to find like it usually is on, like it streams on Hulu.
Yeah.
And like I don't have cable, so like I never record it. But I can always watch it streaming after, and I couldn't fucking find it.
Yeah, it was weird. It's like,
I like Jimmy Kimmel though.
yeah, Jimmy Kimmel seems like a decent dude.
Yeah, he's fine. Except that whole man show thing. But
Oh,
he's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, he seems like a different person from back then, though.
Yeah, I bet he's embarrassed about that shit.
Yeah. So it's
Not like I bet what's his face still thrives on that.
Adam Carolla?
Yeah, that fool has like a bronze statue of tits in his house or something.
Yeah, for sure. So it was like, I don't know. It's just, it was strange. First of all, it was strange because Schitt's Creek like swept. So then,
yeah,
which is, I mean, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. It's just that like it seemed, especially in a setting like the way it was set up this year, where people can't, celebrate around each other and stuff. Like in a normal year, you'd see like, Julia Roberts being like, "Oh my God," and like hugging.
Yeah.
This was just like, I don't know. It was like, okay, so they're just gonna have their own little award ceremony then, like,
because that's part of like what's the best thing is like seeing everybody all together in that room. Like when they cut to commercial break and you see people talking to each other and shit.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, are they talking shit about somebody? And like, yeah. So it didn't have any of that charm. And
yeah, that's all exciting and stuff.
yeah. And then there was something like real sad about seeing people lose also when they're not there.
Did you see Rami post the?
Yes,
that was hilarious.
the hazmat suit.
So there was like somebody there with the Emmy at your house if you were like gonna be streaming in, and then if you lost, they just like leave in their little hazmat suit. This world is so fucked, yo.
Yeah, so it was weird. I like don't watch it or anything. Just see who won. Like the winners.
I was excited for Zendaya.
Oh yeah, me too.
That was awesome, and I fucking love her, and I love that show. So
yeah, she's so cute.
I wanted her to win because everybody. Who was it? Big Little Lies. It was like Reese. Was it Zoe? I don't remember.
No, it wasn't. It was. Was it Big Little Lies?
Yeah, it was Reese, and it was like Jennifer Aniston for that one show. Yeah, so I was like, man, let Zendaya win this shit.
What I did love was, did you see people on Twitter not knowing what an upset was?
Yes, that was so ridiculous.
So I think it was the Hollywood Reporter posted that Zendaya won in an upset. It was an upset win. And then people started responding like
we are not upset. Basically, right?
Yeah.
Like they didn't get it.
This is a very common phrase.
It's just because they're stupid. Twitter's so fucking dumb, dude.
Stan Twitter, I think. I think it's Stan Twitter that's dumb.
Did you see that thing going viral that said only 20% of the U.S. population has a Twitter, and like that doesn't even mean they're active?
Right.
So like we're really seeing like this. It's like this tiny niche world, and Twitter acts like it is like the whole fucking world.
Yeah, exactly.
I still love Twitter though.
That's my Twitter is my bae forever.
I know.
I'm gonna get the bird tattooed on my ass.
Problematic bae.
Did you see Trump getting booed?
Yeah, fuck that fool. Good. Stupid ass. I wonder what his girl tells him like when they leave. She's probably like, see, you're a fucking loser.
No, they don't speak at all. I bet you
that's true.
she doesn't even like look at him.
Yeah, she hates that fool. That's cool. Me too.
Yep.
Big up the whole island massive. It's your boy Chatana. coming straight from the Golden Globes, you want saying? Me father Tom Hanks presenting in a what? Soon forward come. Big up, tune in.
What's up, everyone? My name is Stephanie.
And my name is May, and this is the Drama Club.
This is the podcast about celebrities, gossip, pop culture, pop music.
Scandals. What else? Awards.
Movies, TV,
Yeah.
and more.
Hey.
Ooh, I watched The Duchess on Netflix. That just slaps. You guys should watch it.
How many episodes?
It's like 8 or something. It's very doable.
Okay, cool.
Not like we got anything else to do also.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what
for
else
real.
have I seen? I don't remember now. Oh, what I'm about to talk to you guys about.
Ooh, okay.
All right. So I'm up this week and I'm going to talk about Bob Marley.
Hey, walk
Something
Jamaica.
Yeah, something lighter. I mean, it's still sad, but
Right.
my last one was like fucking awful downer.
Right. Oh, man, we should have got Chet Hanks to phone in for this episode.
Oh my God, mate. Like, I mean, more than anything in this world. Oh, also Pen 15 came out, season 2. You guys got to watch that shit.
You got to.
It's so fucking good. I want to rewatch it. I just watched it.
Yeah, me too.
So for this, I watched the documentary Marley, which is on Showtime. But so like I watched it on Hulu because if you pay a little bit more, you get Showtime.
Yeah.
It's unnecessarily long as fuck. It's like almost 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, and then I also watched Who Shot the Sheriff, which is on Netflix right now also. And that one's cool. It's like 50 minutes.
The fuck? Who shot the sheriff? You have Showtime, you don't watch Black Monday?
No, what is that?
It's so fucking funny. It's just like a little half-hour comedy from the creator of Happy Endings.
Oh shit, yeah, I should watch it.
And it's starring Don Cheadle and
Actually, I was gonna say I like Don Cheadle, and I might step back on that.
and homegirl, what's her name?
Every time I see him in a show, I think he's good, but as a person, he seems kind of like dickish to me. Remember we saw him at the Grammy Museum,
Yeah,
and he was kind of uptight.
Regina Hall.
Oh, that's what's up.
And she's fucking real funny.
Yeah, I'll watch that for sure. It's funny that you say that because I've been watching New Girl, and what's his face is on it.
Yeah, Damon Wayans Jr.
Yes. And it's just like funny, like if you watch the show, like you can tell when he leaves to go do Happy Endings, and then you can tell when Happy Endings got fucking canceled and he came back. Anyways, okay. So Robert Nesta Marley was born on February 6, 1945, on his grandfather's farm in 9 Mile, Jamaica.
Hey,
Anyways.
Robert Nesta Marley, the
Robert.
original rude boy.
His father was a white Jamaican, meaning his ancestry lies within Europe mostly. He was over 60 years old when Bob was born, and Bob's mom was like 18 years old.
Oh,
Yeah. His dad worked a plantation and was often away, so he really didn't spend much time with Bob or his wife. He did end up marrying Bob's mom.
okay.
But he supported them both financially until Bob was 10, when he suddenly died of a heart attack at age 70.
I mean, suddenly in like 19 what?
That's
Something.
true. People used to die of heart attacks, which is crazy to me because like I feel like every day Joel comes back from work and he's like, yeah, one of my patients had a heart attack. I'm like, how are they? He's like, oh, he's fine. We discharged him.
People still die of heart attacks, but it's like, a 70-year-old man and 40 something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P. So Marley's mom remarried to a civil servant named Ed Booker, and he then got 2 half-brothers, Richard and Anthony. And Bob's family and friends talk about how he was really rejected a lot in their town growing up because he was a little mixed boy.
Oh, yeah.
So he grew up in 9 Mile, and his childhood friend named Neville who was later known as Bunny Whaler, lived like down the street from him.
Okay.
By the way, 9 Mile is fucking beautiful. Google this location. It's amazing looking. It looks like paradise. Tropical green.
He and his brothers all have like the whitest names.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like Bob, Richard? So Dick, Bob, Dick, and Tony.
Bob and Bunny started playing music together kind of as an escape while in primary and junior school because 9 Mile, although beautiful, was like very behind and poor.
Oh.
They lived like in shacks and stuff, basically. At 12, Marley moved to Kingston, and Marley's mom actually ended up having a daughter with Bunny's dad, which made them like somewhat related.
And what?
It was just kind of cool because they were like best friends. Like, imagine how fun that must be. So they all moved together to Kingston in search of a better life, and this just furthered Bob and Bunny's musical explorations together.
Okay.
Trenchtown was way more vibrant, had a lot more culture for all of them to explore. They started a little vocal group with their friends Peter Tosh, Beverly Kelso, Junior Braithwaite, and Joe Higgs.
Talk about legends.
They didn't play instruments. They only focused on like harmony vocals. This is like we're in the 50s. So think of like a little vocal group.
Mm-hmm.
Doo-wop? Yeah, like doo-wop, yeah. Higgs then started teaching Marley to play guitar. And at first their lineup was known as the Teenagers, then the Rude Boys, then the Wailing Wailers, and finally just the Wailers. The Teenagers is cute.
Yeah, that's real cute.
They were discovered by producer Coxsone Dodd and recorded the single Simma Down. That became a Jamaican #1 hit and sold 70,000 copies.
Wow.
I know. Then they started regularly recording for Studio One and immediately began working with top Jamaican musicians. By 1966, the Wailers were a trio of Bob, Bunny, and Peter Tosh. During this time, Trenchtown became increasingly more violent, and the Wailers would often reminisce in their lyrics on the more peaceful days of their youth. When Bob turned 17, his mom left the U.S., and so producer Coxsone let Bob basically live in the studio and kind of like took care of him.
Wait, she left to go live in the U.S.?
Yeah, she left to go live and work in the U.S.
Oh, okay. To like send money back and shit?
Yeah, they're not too clear on that. And like, I don't know, like in Marley, like Rita's the one where you think like she knows the most, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like she doesn't even, and Bunny doesn't really talk, like he's just like, yeah, she left. Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if like it was extended to Bob to go or what.
Right.
Yeah. So in 1966, who I was just talking about, Bob married Rita Anderson, his longtime childhood sweetheart. Rita's dope as fuck, and if you see her in interviews, she talks about how Bob was basically like every girl's dream in Jamaica. Like the way she described him was like, everybody wanted a tall, skinny black boy, and I got him.
Hey!
So then they did end up moving to Delaware for a short period of time, close to his mom.
Wow.
During which Bob got a job as a lab assistant on the DuPont lab.
What?
And then on the assembly
Foxcatcher.
And then on the assembly line at Chrysler.
Damn. So somebody out there has like a fucking Chrysler 300 assembled by Bob Marley.
He and Rita had 4 children, including 2 that were adopted from her prior relationships. So with Rita, he adopted Sharon and her daughter Stephanie, and then they had Cedella and son Ziggy and son Cedella and Ziggy. Just to get this all wrapped up all at once, he had several other women and children, although he was only ever married to Rita.
Yeah.
And his website officially acknowledges 11 children total. The others are Robert, Rohan, Karen, Julian, Kai, Stephen, and Damien. Other people claim to be children of Bob, but they were not acknowledged by him or his family.
Can't we figure that out now?
I mean, I guess you can, but they never have done it. Rita later came to be one of Bob's backup singers when he got pretty big, and she really delved into his music career. And like I said, they remained married throughout his entire life and obviously bonded, and like she was the mother to his children, even like the children that he ended up having with other women, like she kind of took on the motherly role.
Yeah.
She knew and she acknowledges that he had other women later on, and that was really sad actually in the documentary because Cedella and Ziggy are the ones that are interviewed, and they talk about how like Bob didn't really seem to mind, like I mean, like, whatever. He was just, like, kind of doing his thing, but that he would get upset when the kids kind of started to know what was going on.
Oh.
And then he would calm down again, like, with other women. And really, like, mostly, like, Cedella, like, the older ones, Ziggy, Cedella. Those are, like, the kids he was closer to, I think.
Right. I mean, if you're ashamed of your behavior, then why are you behaving that way?
Because men are trash, and in this era, we like fucking just like enabled men to continue to be trash. Like,
Right.
it's stupid. Now things are different for sure. But anyways, yeah, it never was like a monogamous marriage after his career really took off. Other than music, Rasta, and smashing, Bob loved soccer.
Hey.
He played soccer throughout his entire life, wherever the fuck he could. Parking lots, fields, even inside recording studios. He was like a super fan of Pelé, and he loved to surround himself with people from the sport. Like local Jamaican professional soccer players were like his best friends and shit.
Yeah.
He always would tell journalists, like, if you really want to get to know me, like, come outside and like join this pickup game real quick.
That's tight.
And so tight. And the videos of him playing soccer are like so dope because he wears like the coolest tracksuits and
Yeah.
he just looks badass.
And I like when he's like this stage of his career where he has like the shorter sort of like afro dreads sort of.
When he first turns Rasta,
Yeah.
Yeah, so though raised Catholic, Marley became pretty interested in Rastafari beliefs in the 1960s. Once he would like basically like got away from his mom's influence because she was hella Catholic. After returning to Jamaica, he formally converted to Rasta and began to grow out his dreads like you're talking about. This is where we see like young afro dreads.
Yeah, playing like soccer and shit barefoot.
Yeah. So the Rastafari movement became a key element in the development of reggae and in who Bob Marley was. He was an ardent proponent of Rastafari. It basically articulated what he thinks. He believes that it articulated the feelings of the oppressed people of Jamaica and the ideas of African liberation. Its consciousness is about what your purpose is as a black man, to be happy and to find peace and love and unity. Also really emphasizes eating well, treating other people well, staying healthy, and finding identity in your hair.
Hey.
In your dreads.
Yeah.
Mix these ideals with Marley's transition into ska and then later reggae, and you have basically Bob Marley, the musician we all know and love.
Am I Rastafarian? This sounds like this totally describes
It's so
me.
wonderful. It's so wonderful. Like everything, like this week, I was like, all obsessed. Like I kept telling him all, like, it's so perfect. Like, because they make it sound so simple too. Like they're like, eat good, you'll feel good.
Right.
Exercise, like your body will be happy, and like, just try to be happy. Like don't let like negative thoughts, because it's so easy to just be negative. Like I'm a fucking negative person. So.
My hair is also very important to me too. So
same.
And I also like soccer.
Yeah.
And I can speak like Chet Hanks too. All praises to the Most High, Jah Rastafari.
Everything gonna be alright.
Oh, wait, what was I going to tell you about? Oh, it reminds me a little bit of like, of course, like these like people who grew up poor in Jamaica would cling to this. This reminds me of like the Wu-Tang episode where we were talking about the 5%ers, like when it was like a something for a black man to like take pride in himself and you know, to lift up your community. Like, of course these dudes were into that. Yeah, and especially when you're part of a community that is poor and you feel kind of lost, and like anything to cling to that's positive. I mean, it's great. Right. So Bob wanted his music to give other Africans the courage to continue fighting for liberation and unity. And obviously, we'll get into that because it's like basically most of his career. Yeah. Also, Rasta considered cannabis to be an healing herb, a sacrament, and an aid to meditation. Hey, hold up. Let's get healed real quick. Yeah, see, another thing that I could get behind in terms of Rastafari. So, Rasta take or smoke cannabis for religious reasons, not just to get high, obviously. And Bob Marley smoked a ton of cannabis and even grew some at his house. No big spoilers here. He supported the legalization of the drug and believed that it was very prevalent in the Bible. He believed herb was a vital factor in religious growth and connection with Jah. And as a way to philosophize and become wiser. Do we know, bro? Do we know if he was a smoker before his conversion to Rastafarianism?
He was not.
Rude, naughty roots.
Dude, I can't tell you how much Bob Marley I've been listening to this week. And I'm going to keep listening to it. It's funny because
And I'll do it again.
yeah, my brother loves Bob Marley too. And that's like basically like one of the bigger trips he took was to Jamaica and to 9 Mile and stuff. And so we were talking about it this week and like, I'm super emotional, right? So I just kept like crying, like he's such a perfect human.
Yeah.
And we're like, all his quotes are so good. Like there's so many interviews where, you know, like they ask him about money and he's like, what makes me rich? Like material possessions, that doesn't make a man rich. Or like somebody asking him about like being super famous and he's like, I'm just a man, just like you. Like it's just so dope. So anyways, Marley and the Wailers started working with music producer Lee Perry, who is a fucking character if you've ever seen him.
Yeah, Scratch Perry.
Yeah. He was innovative and creative and super interesting. Just literally Google him, watch some YouTube videos. Perry didn't want to fuck with ska. He wanted to transition into making more spiritual music for Jah. So like I said, here we saw the emergence of reggae. Jamaican popular music slowed the ska and pop down, took out the ska trumpets and saxophones and shit.
Yeah.
Threw the drums off a beat, kept the guitar breaks, and developed into basically what we know reggae to be. Marley and Perry really had a lot of influence on each other, and Perry says like really wonderful things about Bob because they ended up splitting over recording rights pretty early on in their careers. But they kept working together throughout. And Perry, like, you could tell he really loved Bob. And he says, like, I carry Bob with me, like, through this day. He's the light in me. All these wonderful things.
Is he still with us?
Yeah, he is. Marley then approached top producer Leslie Kong, who is the one who's believed to really have developed the reggae sound, and combined the Wailers' vocals with the slowed down sound. Those songs then became the album The Best of the Wailers, including Stop That Train, Caution, Soon Come, Cheer Up, bunch of like little reggae jams.
Stop That Train. I think what's underrated about that Wailer sound, just like if you listen to like their live recordings, it's just like, God damn, like a perfect band.
It's crazy how fucking talented they are.
Yeah, the harmonies and the background singers, like, God, the drumming, like it's just perfect.
Amazing. It's perfect. Yeah. This CD dominated dance halls, but was pretty slow to get radio play. In 1968, Bob then went to visit songwriter Jimmy Norman in the Bronx just to jam. Jimmy had written some extended lyrics for the song Time Is On My Side, that Rolling Stone cover. Yeah. And had also written some songs for Jimi Hendrix. So he and Bob jammed together and recorded a 24-minute tape, which is super rare and more pop than reggae, but pretty interesting to listen to. They wanted to use it to break Marley into the US charts. Marley then signed with CBS Records in London and went on a mini UK tour with soul singer Johnny Nash. This was weird because he wasn't really well known outside of Jamaica. So he was kind of just opening for this guy, but he was like out there, putting himself out there, basically like trying to make it as a musician. Yeah. After, the Wailers returned to Kingston to Harry J's studio and recorded their album Catch a Fire. It's seen as the first time a reggae band really had access to real state-of-the-art studio and composition equipment like famous rock and rollers of the time.
That probably made a huge difference. Just like, not necessarily in the, obviously, yes, in the quality of the music, but just like on how serious people took it as a genre.
For sure. Yeah, no. And it's going to make, just like having access to better equipment is just going to make you sound better. Like, you know,
I think like people who are not familiar with reggae would also be more likely to play it on the radio or something if it just like sounds better.
Of course. So that album was released worldwide in April 1973, and it was packaged more like a rock and roll record with a Zippo on the cover, a Zippo lighter.
I love that cover.
Yeah, it's dope. It was very positively received by critics and followed later that year by the album Burnin', which included the song I Shot the Sheriff. Eric Clapton got a hold of that album, and he was super into it. immediately covered I Shot the Sheriff, which became his first U.S. hit since Layla 2 years prior.
Wow.
I know.
I love that cover.
It's good, but fuck Eric Clapton. But yeah, I like that
fuck
cover.
Eric Clapton. You don't fuck with immigrants.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're gonna
fuck
steal
him.
some shit from Bob Marley to try to make
know.
it back? Fuck you,
Yeah.
bro. In 1972, Michael Manley became Prime Minister of Jamaica as the leader of the People's National Party. He was a popular leader who was really outspoken about the broken class systems in Jamaica. He was a proponent of an egalitarian society, aka he was hella socialist, aka we would see the opposition labeling him as a communist because that's what happens.
Yeah.
More on that later. So the Wailers were then coming off this album and the success of I Shot the Sheriff, both their own version and the cover from Clapton, which got them hella more fans.
Right.
And they got hired by Sly and the Family Stone to open at 17 of their U.S. tour dates.
They're making all the right moves.
They were fired after 4 shows because they were instantly more popular than Sly and the Family Stone.
Oop.
In 1974, the Wailers disbanded and they each sought their own solo careers. Basically, the other members of the band were saying that they were super unhappy being on tour. They hated eating shitty food, living out of a car.
Yeah.
But Bob was the one that really pushed them to do that stuff, and he was willing to make those sacrifices while everybody else was like, they just wanted to go back home.
Yeah.
So it just didn't work out. Bob still recorded as Bob Marley and the Wailers, basically following the split. He had his first international breakthrough hit in 1975 with his live version of No Woman, No Cry. His breakthrough album, Rastaman Vibration, followed in 1976, and now he's basically big time. Like super big time. He was selling out every club he played at, every fucking festival he joined. In 1976, Prime Minister Michael Manley was going to be opposed by Edward Seaga in the upcoming election. Edward called for a return to capitalism. He was the leader of the conservative opposition party, the Labour Party. He hella labeled Michael as a communist and believed that Michael was out to turn the country into a complete socialist state. Which we hear that all the time, right?
Yeah.
Sounds familiar. This created a lot of hostility and tension between the two political parties within Jamaica. And this isn't like Twitter fingers we see in the US. These people were out in the streets fucking fighting, shooting at each other. Yeah, violently protesting, vocalizing their frustration with the other's systems. Like, they took this shit personally. Which you should. I mean, you should, but it doesn't have to be this violent. Kingston ended up just becoming a war zone, and you were basically going to be on the side of whatever political party you supported. Gangs even stepped in and started straight up having showdowns with protesters in the street.
Damn. Welcome to Jamrock, where people are dead at random.
It's fucked up. So where do the Rastafari stand amongst all this appeal, you know, with their
Rastafari
ideals?
stands alone.
Yes, in the middle. Bob was basically a very politically engaged figure, and he was seen as such. So he saw that there was a lot of danger in that position as well.
Yeah. What about this pressure though? Like, cause you know, now he's like one of the biggest stars in Jamaica, if not the biggest star in Jamaica at this time. So it's like people are looking to him to say something, do something, you know? Like,
yeah. He basically continued to stand as a political neutral while still being political, which is like a fucking art form. I just thinking about that, walking that line is like insane.
Right. It's like being the queen or some shit.
Yeah. His statement was about basically like walking between the parties, opposing all the violence, opposing the political violence and police violence, and calling for unity. That's like what he always talked about. So Chris Blackwell, who was in the music scene with Bob, ended up selling his home and company headquarters at 56 Hope Road to Marley. 56 Hope Road became like Mecca to them. It was Marley's house and office. It was also down the street from the office of the Prime Minister.
Damn.
It was like the headquarters of reggae music and became this super important cultural location. Reminded me of Andy Warhol's factory.
Yeah, Abbey Road.
Yeah, Abbey Road. Like there's so many places like that where like culture just fucking is like fucking coming out the seams and shit.
Right.
Marley invited everyone to come up to 56 Hope Road. Like anybody, ghetto kids, fellow musicians. There's fucking pictures of George Harrison kicking it, playing soccer with local Rasta and shit. Mm-hmm. He allowed everyone to enter and basically bring downtown uptown in order to petrify the upper middle class.
But honestly, that's how you make the best art. Like it has to be a mix of everything. Everybody has to be in there somehow.
Yeah, you have to be a part of a community still. Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to become like disengaged and, you know, like remember that. Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. Or remember the joke. Is it like Chris Rock or I don't know who does it where they're like, once you get rich, it's like you can't be funny anymore because it's like you try to like identify with your audience, but you're like, man, don't you hate it when you're made something like, you know?
It's Ellen.
Is that Ellen who says that?
Yeah, it's Ellen.
Really?
Yeah, that was basically her whole last special.
Really? Mm-hmm. I want to say I saw a black man do that joke. And I want to take it past Ellen.
Ellen, a black man, Kevin Hart.
No, I wouldn't take it past her to fucking steal that from someone. Anyway, so this, like, just the whole idea and, like, the lifestyle of 56 Hope Road was seen as a huge political statement on the part of Bob.
Oh, yeah.
So now Bob wanted to put together...
It's like how we talk about drag queens. Like, there are some drag queens who are like, oh, I'm apolitical or whatever. But, hello, like, your existence is political.
Yeah, like, you can't. And I feel for them because... Well, I mean, I feel for Bob because in his situation, it was dangerous.
Right.
But yeah, like you get to a point where you have a responsibility to kind of voice yourself. Okay. So now with all this drama in Jamaica, with so much drama in the LBC, Bob thought that he wanted to put together a free concert and he met with the Prime Minister in order to discuss the plan. This was then interpreted as a political endorsement of Michael Manley because they basically announced this free show and then 2 weeks later, Michael Manley announced that general elections were going to follow.
I see. Yeah.
So it made it look like Bob was performing for the People's National Party.
Yeah.
And Michael Manley absolutely finessed that shit on purpose because he knew that Bob was a gigantic pull for voters. Mm-hmm. Bob was immediately met with death threats, and he was immediately placed under 24/7 protection. Finally, after too many tensions rose over the concert, the government decided to pull it. A few days later, 3 men came to 56 Hope Road to ask Bob why he had canceled the show. Bob stepped out to talk to them, and Rita says that she could hear Bob telling these 3 men, sometimes people love you so much that they want to kill you. A few nights after that, on December 3rd, 1976, kids, I don't want to say kids, but some people crept into 56 Hope Road directly to the recording studio area and started rapid gunfire inside the house.
Oh, God.
After a few moments of rapid gunfire, everything stopped, and everyone stood still. Rita came out with blood spewing down her face. Mm-hmm. And Bob was found lying in a pool of blood next to his friend and manager, Don Taylor. Don had stood in between Bob and the shooters and took several gunshots to his back. Bob was able to walk outside and was escorted by police minutes later to the hospital. He had been shot like past the abdomen. It basically like grazed his abdomen and went straight into his arm. Wow. At the time, people were saying that this was the doing of the opposition, like the other party, Edward Sega's party, the CIA, gangsters, gambling debts. All these fucking theories came out. Apparently, Bob's best friend had recently fled Jamaica because of some heavy gambling debts that he had. And allegedly, Bob was paying off those gambling debts, but slowly. Like for his friends. So everybody was like, oh, they fucking shot him for that. It was just all sorts of shit.
That shit makes no sense though, because if he's paying it, then like why do you want to kill the person that's paying it?
Exactly. I think like Ziggy says that. Like he's like, why would they want to kill him? Like if he was gonna, Right. So Dawn and Rita were the most affected by the shootings. Dawn was immediately in critical condition, and Rita was hurt but was actually going to be okay. Like, I think she had been shot, like grazed her ear or something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's scary.
I know. Dawn ended up pulling through too, so luckily and amazingly there were no deaths.
There used to be like icons that were
Killed.
That's
all the time.
Oh God, it makes me think about Megan, who's in the news again this week.
Megan?
The Stallion.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was like,
yeah,
I know. That
we
was
could
annoying.
we
I
could have
forgot
lost
about
Meg.
that. I know. On December 5th, 1976, Bob Marley was set to play that free show for the Jamaican people
Still?
that had been canceled.
Oh,
remember?
okay. Uh-huh.
But then, like, everybody just basically rallied after the shooting, and like a bunch of bands got together and they were like, "We're gonna do this shit."
Uh-huh.
Rita was super concerned and still weak from the shooting and urged him not to play for fear of his life. And Bob was fucking exhausted. He had been shot at. He was scared, and he really didn't know what to do. But he knew that above everything, when good music play, you don't feel no pain. People lined up like the entire road trying to get close to this stage, thinking that Bob might perform.
Mm-hmm.
And when they got word that Bob was really going to show up, the crowd grew from 5,000 to 90,000 people.
Damn.
Nobody really wanted to play.
Right.
But Bob basically told everybody, like, we got to do this. Like, this isn't political. This is more than politics. Like, we need to do this for these people. So he committed to playing 2 songs at the very end of the show. But once he got there, started feeling the energy and everything, he ended up playing for over an hour.
Wow.
48 hours after an assassination attempt, Bob Marley performed what a lot of people consider to be the best concert of his life. Like, at one point, he opens his shirt to show, like, his bandages and shit where he was shot, and he was just, like, instantly the hero of Jamaica.
Yeah. That's amazing. Until Chet Hanks, of course.
Let us not forget.
Chet Hanks, Usain Bolt, Bob Marley.
I love Usain Bolt. I love that he named his daughter Lightning.
Yeah, that's adorable.
That's so fucking cute. The day after the concert, Bob left Jamaica.
Smart.
Yeah, he basically was scared. He didn't feel comfortable anymore in his own house.
And this happened while he was under like Secret Service type protection.
Yeah.
So it's like you are not safe there.
No. He also thought, well, I could spread my message, my love to other people of the world, and so he ended up spending what he called 2 years in exile.
Mm-hmm.
But back in Jamaica, Michael Manley was reelected shortly after the concert. The middle class basically deserted the island, and there became a scarcity of essentials. As the scarcity worsened, violence worsened. And
wow.
that violence is basically what kept Marley out for so long. Because he had only intended on leaving for a little bit, but he ended up leaving for years. Bob really liked London also. He liked that police didn't carry guns. And he found like his own scene. He ended up thriving out there.
And there's hella like Jamaicans up there.
Yeah. And he took all his homies, like his whole ass crew, his soccer ball and his family. So he was cool. He poured himself into his music. He didn't feel like he had to keep looking over his shoulder. Like finally he could rest, you know? And while he was there, he recorded just this little album. I don't know if you heard of it. Exodus.
Exodus.
And Kaya. Exodus was fucking gigantic. It's one of the best albums ever.
Yeah.
It has Exodus, Jammin', One Love, Waiting in Vain. It was named Time Magazine's album of the century.
Oh, that's a
fucking insane. The century, man. The century.
The whole last century.
The whole last century. Meanwhile, back in Jamaica, Michael Manley became chummy with Fidel Castro. And the nosy U.S. was suddenly backing Edward Seaga for re-election in Jamaica. Bob was fucking convinced the CIA was looking into him, and plot twist, he was right.
Yeah.
He was right. They were, yeah. The CIA approached several of his friends to try to get information from Marley, including Jimmy Cliff, who gets interviewed in the documentary. And he said that they were asking him, like, what political parties are are like your friends associated with. They're like, we can offer you like whatever. And Jimmy Cliff said he told the CIA guy, fuck you, Rasta don't work for no CIA.
That's tight.
Yeah, and the CIA was all up in Jamaica monitoring the cooperation between Cuban intelligence and the Jamaican government. Anytime Fidel is involved with some other government, the U.S. is fucking there.
Right.
If Jamaica was set to become the next Cuba, the U.S. thought they needed to stop that.
Mm-hmm.
Edward Seaga publicly denied any involvement or discussions with the CIA to take down Marley, but obviously. So basically, it looks like Edward Seaga, what he did is he had people that would deal with their people. So, yeah, he didn't directly deal with the CIA, but he did, you know?
Okay.
Without being implicated, he did.
Right.
Politics.
That's how you got to keep your hands clean.
Right. Okay, so in 1977, Bob had a malignant melanoma discovered under the nail of a toe. Urban legend says that this was caused by an injury in a soccer match, but it was actually a symptom of this already existing cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So someone stepped on Bob's toe while playing soccer and it hurt, but he just kept playing until finally he couldn't take it. Then he went to the hospital to get it checked out. He saw 2 doctors before a biopsy was made, which confirmed the most severe kind of skin cancer, acral lentiginous melanoma. Lentiginous melanoma. Unlike other skin cancer, this type occurs in places that the sun doesn't even really hit, like on the soles of your feet or under toenails.
Mm-hmm.
It is the commonest type of melanoma in people with darker complexions, and it is not widely recognized, probably having to do with the fact that it affects mostly people with darker complexions.
Right.
And at this time, it wasn't even mentioned in the most popular medical textbook.
Wow.
The doctors that Bob saw in England told him that he needed to cut off at least his toe, but maybe his entire leg.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people started telling Bob, oh, you're not going to be able to dance or perform. You're not going to be able to play soccer anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just unacceptable to him.
That was everything to him.
And it's his whole life. That's his whole identity. You might as well chop off his dreads.
Right.
Bob was then arrested for possession of cannabis in 1978, and he was finally like, fuck London, and wanted to move back to Jamaica. He was approached to perform at the political concert One Love Peace, which was being set up to try and calm warring political parties.
Okay.
The concert had been put together by the official government peace committee. By now, the violence in Jamaica had become overwhelmingly brutal, and nothing mattered more to Bob than the Jamaican people and his community.
Yeah.
He was outspokenly denying support for either political party and only supported Rasta unification and peace, like always.
Mm-hmm.
But also, he was fucking scared. And I don't really think he was ready to go back to Jamaica, but he felt kind of like his time in London had ended. Yeah. And his people needed him. Mm-hmm. So he finally agreed to play the show under one condition. Rival politicians Michael Manley and Edward Seaga would join each other on stage and shake hands at the end of his set. They did, and then Bob embraced them both as well, and this became this fucking gigantic political moment, and the fact that Bob had orchestrated it was just like fucking phenomenal.
Right.
Like, of course, he came back to Jamaica and pulled this shit off.
Yeah.
The concert itself was a huge success. And you could really tell that people were fucking tired. They were tired of that violence. They really believed in this movement and they wanted to find peace for their country and for their families again.
That's what they deserve. Shit.
Yeah. And obviously, nothing was fixed overnight because this isn't a U.S. world history textbook. The war continued on. Seaga won the next election with great support from Reagan. Mm. In 1979, Marley released the album Survival with the tracks Zimbabwe, Africa Unite. That one's so good. And Wake Up and Lives on It. It reflected Marley's support for the struggles of Africans. He was a Pan-Africanist who believed in the unity of African people worldwide. A lot of his songs covered these types of themes. He wanted independence of all African countries from European dominance. and he had a desire for all Africans to come together and fight against Babylon.
Hey.
He urged for that unity between all Africans within and outside of Africa. People would line up at his house at Hope Road looking for work or even just handouts or just a glimpse of Bob for some fucking hope because their situation was so dire. The song Zimbabwe, by the way, was really embraced by the people of Zimbabwe.
That's the best case scenario.
That song is so fucking good, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny? I was going to ask you, but then I was like, why would I even? Do you have a favorite Bob song? Like, there is no, you know that phrase where it's like, I could no sooner choose a star from the sky. Like, every song is so good to me.
I don't have a favorite, but I like there's certain vibes that I like. Like, I like War. I also, so War is probably my favorite political song. And then, like, my favorite love song is Waiting in Vain.
I love Waiting in Vain.
And then probably
I love Stir It Up.
Yeah, steer it up. Like that's probably like one of my favorite like roots ones. So I have like my favorite of like the different types of his songs.
Yeah. No, it's like it's impossible though. Like, could you imagine trying to say just one? No way. Yeah. So Zimbabwe sent representatives to Jamaica to ask Bob, please, would you perform at our Independence Day celebration? And what they really wanted to talk to him about was like the costs of all of this because they really didn't think they could afford it. Mm-hmm. Bob paid for all of his own equipment to be shipped to Zimbabwe. He paid for the entire show on his own. He didn't take any fucking money for it. Dignitaries from around the fucking world traveled to the show and ceremony, including some fucked up footage of skinny ass Prince Charles washed ass shaking hands with these Zimbabwe officials. 90,000 people couldn't even get into the show because it was so fucking packed and they were waiting outside.
Waiting in vain.
Freedom fighters flattened the fence and then everybody just fucking packed like the whole area.
That's what's up.
For a while, tear gas started getting thrown on the audience and Bob was fucking pissed. Mm-hmm. He wouldn't move from the stage and his band like all took off. Like they were like, fuck this, like it's gonna get wild. But Bob was like, fuck no, like get your asses back on here. And they finished the performance once the drama had died down. It's
like that scene in Selena.
Oh my God, man.
Como la flor.
By this time, Bob's doctors were urging that he have his toe amputated to combat the cancer. Mm-hmm. But this would obviously have hindered his performing career, and citing his religious beliefs as well, he refused to undergo the treatment. According to his family, he got a lot of bad advice from a lot of people around him.
I bet. Everybody got a fucking opinion when you're sick, dude.
Everybody has a fucking opinion about everything. Like, yeah, there's things where I'm like, I'm gonna stop telling people because I really don't want to know. Like, right. I'm gonna make my own decision. So why am I even gonna get myself upset? Anyways, they ended up removing just the nail and the nail bed and used a skin graft from his thigh to cover that area. He immediately continued touring and was in the process of scheduling a world tour following the procedure. His final studio album was Uprising in 1980. It's seen as his most religious production, including the songs Redemption Song and We'll Be Forever Loving Jah. That might be my favorite one too. I got so many favorites.
Well, now that I'm thinking about it, Redemption Song is,
it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
In the documentary, like they play it, like, and I don't know if they've like just like toned in on his vocals and the like nothing else, and like video of 9 Mile and shit, and I was dying. I was like, oh my God.
Damn, we did not have Bob Marley for that long as an artist.
No,
this
not
is his
long at all.
In 1980 is his final studio album, and the first studio album was like what, 70?
Yeah, I think the first Wailers album might have been like 60. Here, let me just go back a second. So the first Wailers album looks like we're in like 1967. That's the Wailers though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then the first Bob solo album is 1975. So yeah, I mean 15 years of like straight Bob.
Wow.
No, sorry, 15. 5.
5 years.
Yeah, my bad. Uprising. Okay, let's see. After he released Uprising, he completed a major tour of Europe, including the biggest concert of his life to 100,000 people in Milan, Italy.
We in Milan.
Eating spaghetti. After the tour, Marley went to the United States and performed 2 sold-out shows at Madison Square Garden with the Commodores.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cute. The Commodores talk about he was supposed to like open for them and that they were like, no, like
Yeah.
he can't open for us. Like
Right.
it's got to be just like double headline. Like he's Bob Marley. Like, do you guys know who the fuck you're talking about? Like,
That's a weird combination too.
yeah.
I had a professor in college that went to one of those shows.
That's awesome. While in New York, Bob collapsed while jogging up a hill in Central Park. He began shaking on the ground and was taken to the hospital, where it was discovered that his cancer had spread to his brain, lungs, and liver. Basically everywhere.
Yeah.
It was shocking to the physicians that he had been working actively while this was ongoing and jogging. Like, they were like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
He's super healthy, like, by any other means, you know?
Yeah.
They were told that there was no treatment left for him and he could not be helped. Bob was absolutely devastated. His friends and family said that at that time, a lot of them had even forgotten about the toe problem because he had been like basically fine.
Right.
It was discovered then that he hadn't even been going in for checkups on it.
Oh no.
Like he was supposed to be following up, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
2 days later, Marley performed his final concert at Stanley Theater in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He was in very low spirits and super stressed out. After the show, his health quickly deteriorated as the cancer had spread throughout his body, and the band was advised that the rest of the tour was going to be canceled. Marley sought treatment in Germany via an alternative cancer center based partly on the avoidance of certain foods, drinks, and substances.
Ugh.
I know. I want to like hold in my disgust for this, but
I'm not.
I could, man. Yeah, like it as if it would have that fucking easy. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like yeah, just eat your broccoli. Like, no, bro.
I'm talking to you, Steve Jobs.
Yeah, remember he did that shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually, he tried
Let
chemo.
me tell you something else about Steve Jobs. Just and now that I'm thinking about it, because this always pisses me off. So he tried that fucking bullshit for a long time, and it wasn't working.
Did
so
that one it spread everywhere?
Yeah, and then so they were like, okay, you're gonna need a transplant, right?
Of
so,
what?
I think it was his liver. No, yeah, of his liver or some shit. So you're gonna need a liver transplant. It might not have been. Anyway, whatever. He needed a transplant. So because like it had been so far gone and he had, tried this alternative therapy for so long, he was going to be low on the donors list here in California.
Yeah, because why would they give it to him?
Right, exactly. So then this motherfucker buys property in like 5 states to get on like 5 different donors lists to get to the top. To get to
I
the
didn't
top,
know that.
to wherever he finally got his fucking transplant from. Like, ugh, it's just like, that's so fucking disgusting to me.
He is a shitty guy. Like, the whole thing with his daughter is really shitty.
Yeah.
I don't
Lisa?
know. Yeah, I don't know about all that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I mean, all right, anyways. So eventually Bob tried chemo, and this caused his dreadlocks to fall out, which was a crazy low emotional point for Bob.
Yeah.
That's his whole identity.
Yeah.
Ziggy and Sedella said that was the first time they had ever seen their dad without hair, and they were like both kind of like, oh, like it kind of like hit them like, oh, daddy's sick.
Right.
Then he had a stroke, which left him unable to grip his guitar.
Oh, God.
And after 8 months of failing to treat the advancing cancer, the hospital said that there was no more they could do for him, and they gave him 3 weeks to live.
Send him home.
Yeah, Marley decided to go home to Jamaica, but his vital functions were really not doing good on flights, so they ended up going to Miami instead.
Mm-hmm.
He landed in Miami on May 8th, 1981, and he was taken to the University of Miami Hospital for immediate medical attention. Rita and all of his kids were there. Bob Marley then passed away on May 11th, 1981, at the age of 36 due to the spread of melanoma to his lungs and brain.
What? 36 years? That's not that far away from us.
No, 36 is insane. Like that's an
Yeah.
insanely short life, especially consider somebody who had like the biggest impact
Right.
on like Jamaican music and
On the
politics,
world in
even
general.
yeah, the world, yeah. Someone whose message like is so loud and clear to this day, like it's insane.
Yeah.
Ziggy said that when he was at the hospital, he had been like peeking through the windows, like on his tippy toes to see his dad. And then
Yeah.
his dad called him into the hospital room. He was like, "Come over here," and that he laid with him on the bed and sang to him for a bit. And then Bob Marley's final words famously were to his son Ziggy when he said, "Money can't buy life." Fuck.
I mean, the truth, right?
Yeah, I mean, and Steve Jobs tried. Bob Marley had a state funeral in Jamaica on May 21st, 1981, and was buried in a chapel near his grandfather's farm, along with his guitar, a Bible, a soccer ball, and a joint.
What more do you need?
Everything gonna be Irie. Jamaican Prime Minister Edward Seaga delivered the final eulogy to Marley, saying that he was a part of the collective consciousness of the nation of Jamaica.
Yeah.
Bob Marley's music continues to be upheld in indigenous communities. He's evolved into a global symbol of freedom, unity, and love, which is all he really wanted. And that's the story of Bob Marley.
And everything was Irie.
Everything was Irie at the end.
How come? Why do you think we haven't had another Bob Marley? And do you think
There
we'll
can't
have?
be. No, there can't be. He is one and only.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Oh, although he has 11 plus children who try to
love
take up that
Ziggy.
mantle.
I really love Ziggy, and I like his message and the way that he spreads it, which is different than his dad. Obviously, he can't spread it the same way because
Right.
different situations. Sorry, do you hear this?
Yes.
Bruno's crying.
Is Bruno crying or is Howell crying?
They're both crying. They're just both crying to be seeing each other. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, I like Ziggy a lot.
I like Ziggy. I like Damien.
I don't like Damien and Steven as much, but yeah, I like them. They're all right.
Steven got like 2 songs.
Yeah.
Rohan fucked up Lauryn Hill, so I don't fuck with Rohan.
Seriously. Isn't that so sad, man? It's too short. Imagine like what he would have continued to say, or like in moments of hopelessness in this world.
What year was he born in?
1945.
That's like Robert De Niro's age or some shit. Like,
Oh, really? Yeah.
This is someone who presumably could have still been with us right now.
For sure. Probably. I mean, someone who
Was so
otherwise
healthy.
lived a very healthy lifestyle. Like Ziggy was talking about like their life really revolved around like being healthy, like through and through, like with your food and your exercise and your mind
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
your
yeah.
heart and everything. So he's like, we would wake up and our dad would take us running on the beach, and then we'd like go swimming.
Yeah.
And then we'd like come home and eat, and then like play soccer, and like we're always just like always active, like always live that kind of a lifestyle.
This is someone who we could have had for, so far another 40 years, who could have done God knows how much more good in the world.
And good for Jamaica.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I was Howell was saying that too. Like, God, people kind of make it seem like he was like a lifetime ago, but he was. I mean, it was like 1980 when he died. Like,
Yeah.
not that long ago.
Yeah, we like to pretend like the past is a lot farther away than it was.
Yeah,
But
it's not.
Well, guys, that was this week's Drama Club.
Hit us up on Instagram and Twitter at Drama Club Pod, and on the website dramaclubpod.com.
On the hotline, 505-539-0556. Leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts.
Give us some money. Give me some money.
Hey, dirty, give us some money. And we'll talk to you on Thursday with a brand new Afternoon Delight episode.
Bye.
Bye.
However, whatever with your however.